When Anthony Edwards was selected as the #1 overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves, there were mixed reactions. Some saw him as a physical specimen with elite scoring potential, while others questioned his consistency, focus, and even his love for basketball. But as we fast forward to today, Anthony Edwards is no longer just a promising rookie. He's blossomed into a bona fide superstar. His rise has been electric, unexpected in some ways, and absolutely undeniable. So what's the real truth behind Anthony Edwards' meteoric rise in the NBA? Is it all natural talent? Is it hard work behind the scenes? Is it just good timing or the right system? Today, we dive deep into the journey of Anthony Edwards, from a rough childhood in Atlanta to becoming the face of the Timberwolves and a future face of the league. Anthony Edwards' story begins in Atlanta, Georgia. But it's not the typical fairy tale. He grew up in a tough neighborhood and tragedy struck early. He lost his mother to cancer when he was just 14 years old. Just 8 months later, he lost his grandmother, his other main caretaker, to the same disease. It was an unimaginable blow for a teenager, but Anthony turned that pain into fuel. He began to take sports seriously, not just to find a path to success, but to honor the two women who meant everything to him. In fact, he still wears the number 5 jersey as a tribute to their birthdays, both on the 5th of the month. It's a constant reminder of where he came from and why he plays the game with so much heart. Initially, basketball wasn't even Edwards' first love. He was a standout football player as a kid, playing running back and quarterback. But once he shifted his focus to basketball in high school, his raw athleticism and strength quickly separated him from the rest of the pack. Edwards starred at Holy Spirit Preparatory School in Atlanta, where his combination of power, explosiveness, and skill made scouts take notice. By his junior year, he was already a top 5 recruit nationally. His performances in the AAU circuit were must-watch events. It was clear that Anthony Edwards wasn't just another athletic wing, he had something else, that it factor. He eventually committed to play college basketball at the University of Georgia, becoming the highest-ranked recruit in school history. While Georgia struggled overall during his lone season there, Edwards made his presence felt. He averaged 19.1 points, 5.2 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game, showcasing his scoring versatility and freakish athleticism. Still, there were concerns. Critics said he sometimes disappeared in games. His shot selection could be erratic. And perhaps most controversially, he gave an interview where he said he didn't watch basketball, which led some to question his commitment to the game. But those who knew Anthony well said that take was overblown. He loved the game. He just wasn't obsessed with watching others. He was focused on carving out his own legacy. When the Timberwolves took Edwards first overall in the 2020 draft, it was a risk. Other top prospects like LaMelo Ball and James Wiseman were getting plenty of attention. But Minnesota saw something in Edwards, the potential to become a superstar scorer who could energize the franchise. His rookie season had its ups and downs. He started off the bench before moving into the starting lineup. His shot selection remained inconsistent, and his efficiency numbers were mediocre. But even then, there were moments, flashes, that made people believe. His dunks were thunderous. His confidence was sky high. He had an infectious charisma, dropping quotable moments in interviews and establishing himself as a fan favorite. Then came March 2021, when Edwards dropped 42 points in a game against the Phoenix Suns, becoming the 3rd youngest player in NBA history to score 40 or more points in a game. It was a wake-up call. This kid was special. He finished the season averaging 19.3 points per game and came second in Rookie of the Year voting behind LaMelo Ball. But even without the award, the league had taken notice. Anthony Edwards was not here to be just another young player. He wanted to dominate. The 2021-22 season marked a significant leap for Edwards. His numbers improved across the board. He averaged over 21 points per game, shot better from 3, and became more of a two-way player. What stood out was his mentality. Edwards was no longer just reacting to the game, he was dictating it. He began to embrace the role of a closer, willing to take big shots in clutch moments. His highlight reel grew: deep threes, chase down blocks, poster dunks, and explosive drives to the rim. Fans loved him not just for his game, but for his personality. He had that rare Jordan-esque combination of dominance and charm. In press conferences, he could joke around, then minutes later, talk serious strategy like a seasoned vet. His leadership began to shine as well. On a team that included Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell, it was Edwards who looked like the true alpha. In 2022, the Timberwolves made the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. It was a big deal for a franchise that had long lived in the shadow of mediocrity. And when the lights were the brightest, Anthony Edwards didn't shy away, he thrived. In the opening game of the playoff series against the Memphis Grizzlies, Edwards dropped 36 points, showing the world that he was ready for prime time. Although Minnesota eventually lost the series in 6 games, it was Edwards' performance that had NBA fans buzzing. He averaged over 25 points per game in the series and showed poise beyond his years. Suddenly, the league started talking differently about Anthony Edwards. He was no longer a young talent. He was a playoff performer, a cornerstone, a leader. Beyond the box score, Edwards' growth as a leader has been one of the most impressive aspects of his rise. He's taken accountability in interviews. He's committed to defense, often guarding the opposing team's best perimeter player. And he's matured in terms of preparation, diet, training, and film study. He also made headlines for his off-season grind, often showing up at team workouts before others, setting the tone for a young Timberwolves squad that was trying to change its identity. Even off the court, his charisma continued to shine. He's often compared to some of the greatest young stars in NBA history, not just for his play style, but for the genuine way he connects with fans and teammates. People like Anthony Edwards. They want to root for him. This season, Anthony Edwards has firmly established himself as a bona fide superstar. He's continued to elevate his game across all facets, improving his scoring efficiency, playmaking, and defensive intensity. With the Timberwolves fully embracing him as their unquestioned leader, Edwards has taken on the responsibility of carrying the team in critical moments. His ability to consistently produce highlight reel plays and clutch performances has cemented his status as one of the league's brightest young stars. He's averaging career highs in points, assists, and efficiency, and he's often been the guy making big plays in crunch time. His decision-making has improved. He's added more mid-range pull-ups, post moves, and off-ball movement to his arsenal, and he's become a legitimate all-star. Not just a popularity pick, but someone whose performance demands recognition. His defensive intensity, once questioned, is now one of his calling cards. He regularly takes on the toughest assignments, showing lateral quickness and strength to bother elite guards and wings. More than anything, he now looks like a franchise player, someone you can build a championship team around. There are many talented young players in the league: Luka Doncic, Ja Morant, Jason Tatum, and others. But what makes Anthony Edwards unique? First, it's his physical profile. At 6 feet 4 inches and nearly 230 pounds, he combines the power of a linebacker with the agility of a guard. He's explosive, quick, and strong, a nightmare to guard in transition or in isolation. Second, it's his mentality. Edwards plays with confidence, but not arrogance. He's willing to learn, willing to listen, and willing to lead. Third, it's his charisma. He's a marketable star. Fans relate to him, kids want to wear his jersey, broadcasters love interviewing him. In a league that values not just talent but personality, Edwards is a gem. The question now is, how far can Anthony Edwards go? Can he win MVPs? Can he lead Minnesota to a championship, something they've never come close to? Can he be the next great American-born face of the league in a sport increasingly dominated by international stars? The signs are all there. He has the skill, the work ethic, the story, and the appeal. But as Edwards himself has said, he's not satisfied. He wants to be great. Not just good for his age, but great, period. He wants the pressure. He wants the expectations. And if history is any guide, he'll meet them head on. Anthony Edwards' rapid rise in the NBA is no accident. It's the result of raw talent, shaped by personal tragedy, sharpened through relentless work, and unleashed with unshakable confidence. He's not just a highlight machine or a walking soundbite. He's the future. From the streets of Atlanta to the bright lights of the NBA playoffs, Anthony Edwards is writing a story that's only just beginning. And if the first chapters are any indication, it's going to be one for the ages. So the next time you watch him soar for a dunk, hit a clutch three, or crack a smile in a post-game interview, remember, you're witnessing more than just a rising star. You're watching a legend in the making.